Hello viewers, welcome to Learn Computer Tech Easy channel. In this video, we are going to see function with arguments and no return value. We are going to create function with arguments and no return value. This is otherwise called pass by value. Okay, we have to create the function with the arguments and it will not return any value. Okay, in function with arguments, first we have to declare the function. The syntax for function declaration is return type, function name, and within the parenthesis we have to give the data type of the arguments. Okay, not the variable. We have to give only the data type. We have to give all the data types, all the data types of all the arguments we are going to pass in the function. Okay. This is the function declaration. We have to give semicolon. This function declaration should be given before the main function. When we start the main function, we have to call the function main function, that is user defined function. Before before calling the function should be defined. After that only we can call that function. For function call, we have to give only the function name and the arguments to be passed. Okay, that is function name. This is the syntax for function call. Function name and list of arguments. This arguments and the function name within the parenthesis, the list of arguments, close the parenthesis, and you have to give semicolon. This is the function call. In this function call, whatever the arguments given within the parenthesis is called actual arguments. Okay, this is the actual argument. This is the list. This parameter list gives the actual argument. Actual argument means original values, original variable. Okay. In function definition, we have some arguments. The names, that is the variables given in the parameter list of the function call should match with the function definition, that is number of arguments and number of arguments and the type of arguments should be matched with the function definition. Okay, the function definition should be the return type, function name, within the parenthesis we have to give the data type, and argument. We have to give the data type for each argument. These arguments are called formal arguments or formal parameters or dummy variables. Okay, it will copy the values of the actual argument. This is the dummy variables of the variables in the function call. Likewise, we have to declare, define and call the function call. Let's move on to the program to see how to create in a create those things, this function in a program. We are going to define a function call and define a function for adding two numbers. Okay. First of all, we have to include the header files. Next, we have to declare the function call. Declare the user defined function. Okay. For declaring function, we should give the return type. We are going to return no values. We are not going to return any value. So we are giving the data return type as void. The function name is sum. Inside the parenthesis, we are going to give the data types of argument to be passed. Okay. Now we are going to pass two integer variables. So two integer value means two data types. The data types of two variables. Both the values are integer data type, so I give the data type. Here we have to give only the data types, not the variable. This is function declaration. Next, we will start the main program. Void main. Inside the main, I am declaring the variables called A, B. This is declaration of variable. Now I am going to get the input for A and B. Printf, enter the value of A, scanf %d, comma, ampersand A. Next, we are going to get the value for B. Scanf %d, comma, ampersand B. We got inputs for two variables. Now what we are going to do is we are going to call the function called sum. Okay, in function call, the syntax for function call is function name. Within the parenthesis, we have to give only the arguments A and B. A comma B, close the parenthesis and semicolon. This is the function call. In function call sum, we have two arguments called A and B. This A and B is called formal arguments or actual parameters. Okay. Now we get CH. Function call is over. The main function is completed. We close the main function. Okay. Now we are going to define the function called sum. We are going to define the function sum. For function definition, we have to give the return type, function name. Within the parenthesis, we have to give the arguments along with data type. Int. Here we are going to give a substitute for A and B. Okay. The substitute variable for A is X and substitute variable for b is y. We can give whatever variable. Okay, we have to give the dummy variables for the a and b. This is called the variables int and x, int x and int y are dummy variables. Okay, this is actual formal arguments. Okay, formal parameters. This is the substitutes for actual argument. Okay, this is actual argument. The arguments a and b are actual arguments, and x and y are formal arguments. Okay, now we are going to define the function. Here we are going to give a variable called sum or s, which is going to store the sum of x and y. Okay, s is equal to x plus y. Now printf the sum of x and y is percentage d, comma yes. This is going to print the value of sum of x and y. The sum of x and y is stored in s. The s is printed in this printf statement. Now close the program. Okay, now we are going to see how it is executed. Okay, first we have to declare the user defined function. Inside the syntax for user defined function is we have to give return type and function name. Within the parenthesis we have to give only the data types of actual arguments. Okay, next we are going to get the input for the formal arguments, and we have to give the function call. In the syntax for function call is function name, within the parenthesis the variables of actual argument. Okay, actual parameter or actual argument, and we have to close the main program and we have to define the function. In the function definition we have to give the return type and function name. Within the parenthesis we have to give the dummy variables for actual argument. This is called formal arguments or formal parameters. This is the substitutes for actual arguments. It copies the values of a and b, to the variables of x and y. X will be having the value of a, y will be having the value of b. Okay, this is the dummy variables for a and b. Now it performs the sum of x and y. Actually it performs the sum of a and b. Okay, it stores the value of x and y in s and it is printed, and the control goes back to the statement next to function call. Then the statement next to function call is getch. Okay, it executes the statement and come out of the program. Likewise it will be executed. Okay, now let's see how it is executing. Pass by value. Let's see. Now we are going to execute the statement.